Hello everyone, this is 05 and welcome to the Global Master Toy Review. And today's video we're looking at the 2011 release by Hasbro of the G.I. Joe celebrating the 30th anniversary action figure review. And today's action figure review we're looking at the Wave 4 of the Zombie Viper. Now I got this straight from eBay and this cost me $16, which is rather pricey. Well, being sold in eBay of course, compared to retail pricing of $9 is overcharging it, but not as bad as the Renegade Storm Shadow. Nowadays the pricing has dropped about $15 or maybe $14 there, so it's still pricey but not as bad compared to the Renegade Storm Shadow, which is now running at $30. Now let's take a look at the front portion of the packaging itself. One side here we have a very nice artwork of the Zombie Viper, which is very detailed artwork. Got a lot of veins down the hands, blue skin, pupils are white. It actually has crooked teeth and one section of the tooth is missing. The saliva that as well. One portion of his, well, head there, there's some gaps and holes, very interesting. A little bit of hair, and he's wearing his green uniform, very nice. Now inside the plastic bubble itself we have the figure. Now of course, being as a zombie, it doesn't have a lot of accessories because, well, it's a zombie. It does come with few accessories. Next to it is a helmet. It got a pair of, well, alternative tentacle hands. Here we have the Compound Z tube. As you can see there, that's meant to plug in at the back portion of the figure, and his right hand here has been detached from the figure. Now behind the figure itself is a base stand, as you can see, and behind the base stand is empty. There's no silly little catalog there. Now at the back portion of the card we have a nice full image of the Zombie Viper, which is very nicely done. Here we have the rest of the lineup. We have the 30th anniversary Seymour quote and unquote sci-fi find. Here we have the Renegade's Law and Order. Next to it is also another Renegade's figure, Kurt, quote and unquote, airtight. I'm not too sure how you pronounce this, Schnur. At the bottom we have the 30th anniversary Edwin, quote and unquote, Lifeline Steen. Then we have the 30th anniversary Zombie Viper, 30th anniversary Techno Viper, Renegade Storm Shadow, Renegade's Cobra Security Trooper, and finally Renegade's Cobra Commander. I'm not too sure why it's being placed here. I mean, it's already Wave 4. Now at the bottom section of the packaging itself we have the file card. I'm going to bring it up close. One corner here we have a nice little Cobra logo. Code name here stated Zombie Viper Cobra Trooper. Name none. Here we got a nice image of the, well, Zombie Viper here. I'm not too sure why a zombie needs a profile card, but well, we'll go along with it. Here at the top there's a Cobra Storm Seal, very nice. Now primary weapon is stated Compound Z removable bulbs. This is a primary weapon? I simply have nothing to say there. Now combat gear stated containment helmet, alternate tendril arms, claw attack hands, and here's what's interesting, stated barbed wire. There is no barbed wire found in this packaging at all. And why would they even list the primary weapon as a Compound Z removable bulbs is just beyond me. Here at the bottom is the smaller write-up, which I'm going to bring it up close a little bit. Zombie Vipers are Cobra infantry troopers who have been given a mysterious chemical substance, Compound Z, that has turned them into drones. But of all thought, they follow orders mindlessly and cannot be reasoned or sidetracked. They have retained their skill at combat. In fact, their desire to fight has been increased, making them more dangerous than before. In other words, they are deadly zombie warriors. Very nicely done. Now, without further ado, let's open up this packaging so we can molest the figure. Be right back. And we're back after looking the figure and the rest of stuff out from the packaging. Now let's take a look at the Zombie Viper's accessory, starting off with the base stand. Now it comes with a nice little base stand here. That's based on the 25th anniversary style with a nice little Cobra logo in the middle, and two pegs for the figure to stand on. Nameplate there stated as Zombie Viper. At the back bottom section of the base stand itself stated at 2007 Hasbro made in China. Now the Zombie Viper don't come with a lot of accessories, but then again it's a zombie, so it doesn't need a lot of accessories, but all this stuff is very neat. First we have a couple of Tendril arms, very nicely done. Now first off, this mold has not appeared in any of the G.I. Joe line at all, because this is all totally new mold, but we'll discuss about the details of the mold later. First, the paint job. Now surprisingly enough, the two arms here is actually made of a lighter blue plastic material color. As you can see on this portion here, there's a bit of chipped paint job. That's the original plastic material color. So the entire arms is actually painted in a very light gray shading with, well, blue paint job onto the veins or some parts of the, well, arms itself or the tendrils. Very nice. Now if you also had noticed, both arms here have totally different molds, which is very amazing. Now I'm gonna put this one side first, because basically they are the same in a different style. Now for the arms itself, the details are so well done. As you can see, they actually put on to this effort. Now for the arms itself, because it's being stretched apart to become a tendril, the skin actually torn apart, and you get to see a little bit of the inside of the muscle itself, as you can see there. If that's not bad enough, you get to see the veins as well, and also the warts and the, well, something bloated. Very nice. Skin been torn apart, you get to see the veins, the inside muscles. Now what's funny is that the fingers are the one that turn to this tendril. So you got a thumb here, which is elongated. You got the pinky here is also elongated, and 3 of the fingers has been elongated as well. Now you will also notice one of the fingers here has actually turned into, well, I would say a squid's tentacle. Very nice. Now they are designed in a way, as you can see, so you can actually hook onto another figure. So, well, you can always pretend that the zombie vipers are trying to grab hold a G.I. Joe member or a Cobra member and try to kill them. Very nice. The details are very nice. The other one has a different design on the hands itself, on the fingers itself. This one spreads apart, so you can hook onto another figure. Very nice. Very detailed mold. Now let's take a look on the other stuff. Here we have the compound Z with the tubing. Now the entire thing is made of a clear blue, very clear light blue of a, well, plastic material color, and the compound Z itself is painted in black, but the middle portion is painted in blue, neon blue actually. The bottom section of the peg itself connects to the back portion of the straitjacket or the web gear, and this portion here actually connects to the helmet. And yes, this entire thing is totally new mold. Here we have his helmet. The entire helmet is also made of a clear light blue of a translucent plastic material color, but they actually painted it. The gas mask on the bottom section of the mouth itself is painted in dark gray, and each side of the, well, I would call it the ear section here, is also painted in dark gray. Very nice. And yes, the entire mold is all new stuff. Despite that, it bears a bit of resemblance to the Lamprey's helmet, but no, this is all totally new mold. And the paint job is also quite nicely done. There's a bit of smudge there as well. I assume this is intentional. Very nice, because all my Zombie Vipers figures has the same paint job as well. Now the back portion, there's 3 holes. Now normally if you have one Zombie Viper and you want him to equip, well, fully equipped with all the accessories, you would need to connect the compound Z to the straitjacket and the other end to the helmet. So you can actually slide into any one of the holes itself, or if you want to be hardcore and you have more than one Zombie Viper, you can always have all 3 of the compound Z strapped at the back portion of the web gear and 3 of the tubings to strap onto the back of the helmet itself. More like a jacked up, well, monster. Finally, we have his web gear here, which is made of a dark grey plastic material color, but is actually, well, smudged, and I would say has a little bit of paint job, a little bit of black paint job, smudging on the bottom section of the straps itself, or the middle portion of the strap, a little bit of shading there. Very nice. Of course, this entire web gear is totally new. Very nicely done with the details, especially on the snap-off straps, as you can see here. So torn apart with the straps, even at the back as well. Each side of the web gear, you have these two tubings. I assume they're bombs. It could be bombs. Very nice, because in the middle there's something strapped there. Can't actually make out what's the device. Back portion here, we have 4 holes. This is meant to connect the compound Z. You can connect one, or if you have 4 or 3 of them, you can connect, well, all of them. But okay, you would end up having one of the compound Z tubing unable to connect to the helmet itself if you connect all 4 of them. Very nice. Here we have the 2 pegs here to connect to this 2 section. And for the figure to wear, this is very easy. Now let's take a look at the figure's paint job. Here we have the zombie viper, and funnily enough, it's that majority of parts are actually painted, or at least shaded with a bit of colors. First, let's take a look at the head itself. The head is actually made of a very light blue plastic material color, as you can see there. So the entire head is actually painted with a little bit of gray and blue, very light blue for the, well, the flesh itself. Very nice. The pupils are painted in very pale yellow. It's not totally white, there's a bit of yellow there. And the inside of the mouth is painted in black. Very nice. Torso, the entire figure is actually shaded with a little bit of black there to make it look like it's very dirty, as you can see there. But the torso is made of a light green plastic material color. So that's the shoulders, the waist, the thighs, and the kneecaps. For the lower arms, not counting the shredded, torn, I would say, the sleeve there, the lower arms, the hands, and the lower legs are made of a, well, the same plastic material color as the head itself. Now the chest here, we have a rather large black logo of the Cobra emblem. Very nice. For the arms itself, the lower arms is painted in the same way as the Tendril, so there's a bit of veins that's painted in blue. Very nicely done. Lower section of the legs here, this just below the knee is painted in very dull light green colors to match up the rest of the clothing itself, but the bottom section here has been painted the same way as the arms itself, with the veins popping out, painted in blue. Very nice. It looks like a very dirty corpse. Very nicely done. Now, what about the figure's mold? Now, first things first, there's 2 sections of the arms here. The tattered, torn sleeves here is not part of the figure's body, because, well, as you can see, this is why you can actually remove the figure's arms. Similar style as the Cobra bat for the 25th anniversary line. Now this part here is not part of the body itself. It's made of the same plastic material color as, well, as the body itself. And yes, the mold is all totally new. But if you do not equip with that, I mean, this torn tattered piece, which looks rather nice because it's all tattered and torn, without that, it will leave a gap onto the hands itself, so it looks kind of silly. So you actually need to place that. But for the tentacle arms itself, you don't require to. Or if you want to, you can. Now for the figure's mold itself, the torso, shoulders, waist, thighs, and the kneecaps actually came from the Pursuit of Cobra City Strike Shock Trooper. You can see that they're both the same. However, the head mold, the lower arms, and the lower legs are all new mold. And surprisingly enough, I really love the details of the mold itself. You get to see the skin being torn apart, you get to see the muscles inside, the rotting face, the warts and the bloats. As you can see, the jaw itself is slightly open and one side of the tooth is missing. Very nice. The eyes has sunken in. Very detailed stuff. You got a bit of hair there, and also you get to see a bit of his brain. Very nice. And I really like the touch of the tattered sleeve here. Very nicely done. Lots of nice details. One side of the hand here, as you can see, the two fingers is raised upwards. The other two fingers at the bottom section is closed, slightly closed. On the other side of the hands itself, it's open up. Very nice. You can actually do a nice pose of a zombie pose, and actually if you buy a whole bunch of them, they look quite nice. Bottom section of the legs itself, as you can see, there's a lot of tattered, torn lower section of the pants. Very detailed stuff, a lot of veins popping out. Very dirty stuff. And his foot, you get to see his toes. Very nice, especially on the big toe, which is separated onto the rest of the, well, toes itself. Very nice. This one is combined with the second toe. This one is separated, if you notice. Very nice. Now let's take a look at the figure's articulation. The head actually can pivot up and down and a little bit side to side and turn 360 degrees. Torso here can move forward, back, and go side to side, but it's a little bit tight, and turn 360 degrees. Shoulder joints here can turn 360 degrees and lift the arms this high, and elbow joint here can bend this far, straight, and turn 360 degrees. Then in the middle portion of the forearm here can turn 360 degrees as well, making it you have an additional wrist joint. And speaking of the wrist joint, both of the wrist joint here is the same, so you can swivel 360 degrees and go down and out. Same goes with the other side of the hand, up or down and turn 360 degrees. Hip joints here can move forward, back a little bit, to the sides. Double jointed knee that bends this far, and ankle joint that pivots downwards, up and turn 360 degrees. Now, without even giving the figure any accessories at all, he looks really great as a zombie itself, as you can see there. Very nicely done. Oh, very nice. But what happens if you give him all the accessories? Start off with his vest. And this is not equipping the tendrils first. I'm going to show you what happens when he wears the normal gear. You have a lot of ways to customize, well, not customize as in, well, doing a different paint job or whatsoever. I'm talking about putting the figure with different accessories. Here we have the Zombie Viper equipped with the vest. Here we have the helmet placed on, and place the compound Z tube at the back here, and place the tubing at the back portion here. There you have it. Very nice. And this is how it looks like without the tendrils. But what happens if you equip the figure with the tendrils itself? As you can see, we have the tattered sleeve. It doesn't leave a gap, so this is a good thing. Remove the other one. Place the tendril in, and there you have it. The Zombie Viper, which is filled with the compound Z to mutate him even further, just like any of the creatures from the Resident Evil line, turning him into some sort of tentacle monster, not from hentai. Very nice. Very nicely done. Overall, this figure has not disappointed me at all. There is no problem with the legs, being as one side is longer than the other one. There is no problem at all. The accessories is nice. With or without the accessories, you can do whatever you want with him. And I really love the new molds. Really detailed stuff. if I'm gonna give a rating on this, I would say that it hasn't disappointed me at all. The paint job, I'm okay with it. It's Compound Z, so it makes sense why there's blue, since Compound Z is also blue. So if I'm gonna give a rating on this, I would say I'll give it a nice 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 for the Zombie Viper. So I thank you all for watching. This is Lucy05 and I'm signing off.